What if history hid secrets so shocking they'd rewrite everything you thought you knew? Buckle up, because we're diving into 20 world-changing events schools never teach you about. Hey there, history explorers. Welcome to Legacy Stories, where we uncover the untold, the overlooked, and the downright jaw-dropping moments that shaped our world. Today, we're peeling back the curtain on 20 historical events so gripping, so profound, you'll wonder why they were buried in the first place. From rebellions that shook empires to tragedies that changed nations, these stories will leave you stunned. Stick with us to the end, you won't believe what's coming at number 1. Let's dive in. Picture this. It's the 1532nd, and the Spanish have just conquered the mighty Inca Empire. They install Manco Inca Yupanqui as a puppet emperor, but he's no pawn. Mistreated and humiliated, Manco plots his escape under the guise of retrieving a sacred golden statue. He rallies 100,000 Inca warriors and lays siege to Cusco, Peru, in a fierce guerrilla campaign. Despite exploiting Spanish divisions, Manco's rebellion ends in his assassination, and the Inca resistance crumbles. This epic stand against colonial oppression is rarely taught outside South America, but it's a testament to the unyielding spirit of a people fighting for their freedom. In 1933, America was reeling from the Great Depression. Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal ruffled the feathers of some powerful businessmen who hatched a chilling plan: a military coup to oust the president. They approached Marine Corps Major General Smedley Butler, expecting him to lead a veterans' army to seize power. But Butler, a staunch Roosevelt supporter, blew the whistle. He testified before Congress, exposing the plot. Shockingly, no one was prosecuted, leaving this near-treasonous scheme as a haunting what if in American history, eerily echoing modern political divides. During the French and Indian War, Britain seized Acadia, modern-day maritime Canada, and parts of Maine from France. Fearing Acadian loyalty to the French, the British forcibly deported over 11,000 people in 1755. Packed onto overcrowded ships, nearly half died from disease or drowning. Scholars now call this a crime against humanity, with some labeling it genocide. This brutal chapter, overshadowed by larger wars, reveals the human cost of colonial ambition and deserves a spotlight in history's narrative. The 17th of July, 1944, Port Chicago, California. Black sailors, barred from combat roles, were assigned the deadly task of loading munitions without proper training. When the SSEA Bryan, packed with 4,600 tons of explosives, detonated, 320 men, mostly black, were killed instantly, with 400 more injured. The blast registered on the Richter scale. Outraged by unsafe conditions, surviving sailors staged a mutiny, leading to trials but also sparking Navy desegregation. This tragedy, often ignored, highlights systemic racism and the fight for justice. When Britain declared war on Germany in 1939, panic swept the nation. A government pamphlet suggested euthanizing pets if owners couldn't care for them during evacuations. The public overreacted, leading to the heartbreaking slaughter of 750,000 cats and dogs, 25% of England's pets. This bizarre, emotional response to wartime fear shows how even minor advice can spiral into tragedy, a story rarely told but deeply human. In 1943, Los Angeles, Latino and Mexican-American youths sported bold Zoot suits, a style born in Harlem's jazz scene. Seen as unpatriotic amid wartime rationing, they faced a racist smear campaign. White servicemen and civilians attacked Zoot suiters in a week-long rampage, with police often arresting the victims instead of the perpetrators. No deaths occurred, but the injustice fueled Chicano pride and exposed America's racial tensions, a chapter glossed over in textbooks. While the American Revolution gets all the glory, South America's fight for freedom is often ignored. Simón Bolívar forged Gran Colombia, now Colombia, Venezuela, Panama, and Ecuador through bloody struggles. José de San Martín liberated Argentina, Chile, and Peru. Even a Portuguese prince declared Brazil's independence. These revolutions, sparked while Europe was distracted by Napoleon, reshaped a continent but remain undertaught in global history. In 1932, the U.S. Public Health Service lured 600 poor black men in Alabama into a study, telling them they'd get free medical care for bad blood. In reality, 400 had syphilis and were given placebos, even after penicillin became available. The experiment ran for 40 years until a 1972 expose ended it. No one faced prosecution, but the betrayal shattered trust in public health, especially among black communities, leaving a scar still felt today. August 1964. The USS Maddox, patrolling near North Vietnam, was attacked by torpedo boats. 2 days later, a second attack prompted U.S. retaliation, except it never happened. Misread radar and intercepted communications led to a false alarm, yet President Johnson used it to escalate the Vietnam War. This murky pretext, rarely detailed in classrooms, shows how missteps can ignite global conflicts. During World Wars I and II, Native American service members from tribes like the Navajo became code talkers, using their languages to create unbreakable codes. In World War II, Navajo codes helped win key battles like Iwo Jima. Yet, their contributions were kept secret for decades, and their story remains absent from most curricula, a disservice to their heroic legacy. In 1937, Japan's invasion of China turned horrific in Nanjing. Over 6 weeks, the Japanese Imperial Army killed tens of thousands, possibly hundreds of thousands of civilians and prisoners, with widespread assault, torture, and arson. Known as the Rape of Nanjing, this war crime is often downplayed or denied in Japan, making its global recognition critical yet undertaught. On the 16th of September, 1920, a horse-drawn wagon exploded outside J.P. Morgan's New York headquarters, killing 38 and injuring 143. Packed with dynamite and shrapnel, it was America's deadliest terror attack before 9/11's. No one claimed responsibility, and the case remains unsolved, with scars still visible on the J.P. Morgan building. Why is this forgotten? It's a mystery as gripping as the crime itself. In 1978, Iran's Western-aligned Shah faced growing unrest. Protests erupted over his brutal secret police and a deadly cinema fire blamed on his regime. By 1979, the Shah fled, and Ayatollah Khomeini returned from exile to establish a theocratic Iran. This seismic shift, inspiring Middle Eastern uprisings, is often skimmed over despite its global impact. June 1969, New York City. Police raided the Stonewall Inn, a haven for the LGBTQ+ community. Tired of harassment, patrons fought back, sparking days of riots. Inspired by the civil rights movement, this uprising birthed the Gay Liberation Front and the first Pride events in 1970. Stonewall's legacy is monumental, yet its raw defiance is rarely taught in depth. In 1676 Virginia, colonist Nathaniel Bacon united white and black settlers against Governor William Berkeley's high taxes and refusal to confront Native American raids. Their militia burned Jamestown, forcing Berkeley to flee. Bacon's death from dysentery ended the revolt, but it exposed colonial tensions, setting the stage for America's revolutionary spirit, a story too often overlooked. In 1966, Mao Zedong launched China's Cultural Revolution to purge capitalist influences. His Red Guard youths shut down schools, destroyed cultural sites, and killed or exiled millions. Up to 2 million died, and 20 million fled before Mao's death in 1976 ended the chaos. This devastating upheaval, rarely explored in Western education, reshaped China's soul. Rosa Parks is iconic, but 9 months earlier, one 5-year-old Claudette Colvin refused to give up her bus seat in Montgomery, Alabama, facing arrest and conviction. In 1854, Elizabeth Jennings Graham won a lawsuit against a segregated New York streetcar company. These trailblazers paved the way for desegregation, yet their courage is often overshadowed. In the 1642nd, King Charles I clashes with Parliament, and religious divides sparked England's Civil War. His attempt to arrest opponents in 1642 backfired, igniting battles between royalists and parliamentarians. By 1649, Charles was executed, and the Commonwealth of England rose under Oliver Cromwell. This radical moment, when a king lost his head, is rarely emphasized outside Britain. In 1915, amidst World War I, the Ottoman Empire targeted its Armenian population. Over 1 million were killed or died in forced desert marches to concentration camps. Despite global recognition, Turkey's denial keeps this genocide under discussed, a tragic oversight in teaching the cost of hatred and nationalism. May 31, 1921, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Greenwood, known as Black Wall Street, was a thriving black community. A false accusation against teenager Dick Rowland sparked a white mob's 18-hour rampage. Up to 300 were killed, 800 injured, and thousands left homeless as buildings burned. Suppressed for decades, this atrocity only recently gained attention, demanding its place as a cornerstone of American history. Wow, history is wild, isn't it? These 20 events prove the past is full of stories that deserve to be told, stories of courage, tragedy, and resilience. If you're as blown away as we are, hit that like button to spread the word, and don't miss out. Subscribe to Legacy Stories and ring the bell so you never miss a dive into history's hidden gems. Got a forgotten event we missed? Drop it in the comments. We're all about keeping these stories alive. Join our community of history lovers, and let's uncover the past together. See you in the next one.